Well, hello there, Taurus. Is it Taurinians? I'm not sure. I'm not even going to try to go there. Welcome back to Sunshine for the Soul, and thank you so much for stopping by today and hanging out with me for your September 2023 reading, where we're taking a look and asking the universe, what part of us can we fall back in love with? What part of us can we take action on in order to realign ourselves, bring about the manifestations that we desired? And we know that fall is a time of reaping the harvest. It's bringing into fruition all the rewards that we are invested in. Seeds that were planted, we nurtured those seeds. We made sure they had adequate sunlight and water. We tended to certain things in our life so that we could evolve and place ourselves in a position that allows us more satisfaction and more fulfillment. Now, who does not want some more satisfaction and fulfillment? On our journey of self-discovery, also called your ascension, also called spiritual awakening, being woke, awakening to our divinity, we go through a hard time of healing and growth while we become more self-aware, while we're remembering who we are as a spiritual energetic being. But now is the time for integration of everything we learned. It's time to take action. So today for you, I have got a Shaman's Dream Oracle card, number 5, and this is closing the door. Completion. Every door that shuts is an invitation to find another way, to find another path to your destination. Number 9s in the tarot are all about endings of cycles or completion, completing something so we can move on to the next part of our journey. Maybe something has ended for you, Taurus. Something that has meant a lot to you. You know, this could be a career, a relationship, a belief system, or maybe it's just an ending to a phase in your life, an identity that no longer suits you. Today's continuing theme in my reading seemed to be about closing the door to our old lives, of our old identities, having the symbolic death and then moving on with a greater purpose. Many of us fear transformation. Many of us avoid changes. We avoid endings. We avoid these things because we are fearful of the unknown. We are fearful of having a negative experience that is worse, not better than what we have experienced past. So we are trained and patterned and conditioned to constantly live in a state of fear, and have been for a very long time. So we have been conditioned by our society to believe that change is bad, that longing to just go back to the way things used to be, of having everything stay exactly the same. We've been fooled into thinking that benefits us more. That is an illusion. As we spiritually awaken, you start to understand that everything we experience is a lesson to lead us to our very next experience so that we may grow, change, and evolve. We are here for these experiences. We are here to go through the pain and suffering, to go through the lessons, to go through the joy, the kindness, so that Source can experience these things itself. It does it through us. So the Source resides in us, as us. So while we're having these experiences, Source is having these experiences. We're all collectively tied together as one. To deny change in your life is to deny the very core mission that your soul has set out to accomplish, to have experiences that lead to growth. But if you refuse to change, adapt, overcome, and improvise, then you are leaving yourself in stagnant energy and nowhere else to go but to spin in endless cycles. If you refuse to change, you're never closing any doors so that new beginnings can happen. Alana Fairchild of the Shaman's Oracle blog says that the shaman is spiritually trained to overcome the fear of symbolic death, and instead of avoiding endings, be willing to go through them with the awareness that an ending is simply the other side of a beginning. We look at everything as linear, and really it's a Fibonacci spiral. Everything is revolving, spinning within the same time. So really, you look at the infinity symbol, there is no beginning or no end. It's all just transformation. So if you're a spiritual being and you come here on your mission, let's say you're on this roller coaster that looks like a figure 8. If you do nothing and refuse to change, change, you're going to get stuck in this loop over here in the far corner of this 8 symbol, of this infinity symbol, and you're not going to move. The energy's not going to flow. You're going to stay stagnant. So change allows us to close the doors, to have endings, so that the energy can move forward and we can have new beginnings. That's awesome. To me, this is really exciting. I embraced change very early on. I don't know why. It just was this rebellious side of me, I guess. But a lot of people are very uncomfortable with change. So endings happen when something new wishes to be born. So if you want your wish fulfillment, if you want to manifest the reality, if you want your desires to come into fruition that you've been harvesting, to integrate them, we have to allow for endings. We have to allow for change so that those things can be rebirthed. They can come in. We can have a new beginning. We know this is ultimately good and has compassion for the human mind that may still feel very uncomfortable and resistant to the human process. You know, Alana Fairchild is saying here that before we become self-aware, before we elevate in frequency, as we start ascending and remember who we are, you know, it's perfectly natural for our human makeup to be very fearful and resistant with change, very uncomfortable. It's kind of built into that process. So even while we may accept the change with gratitude, our minds might feel uncertain and afraid. You know, she says we might feel confused or try to cling to what is an ending. Oh, all we want to do is focus on the past. All we want to do is focus on how we were hurt or what we were experienced or the terribleness of it. You notice when things are really good, we don't linger on them. You know, they're a happy memory, we move right along. But when it's something that was experienced or perceived as pain or suffering or difficult, then we put that label on it of thinking that it was difficult, it was fearful, it was, you know, terrible. And therefore we attach that emotion of fear to that concept of change. So let me say that again. When we experience something in a negative way, right, our brain, our human makeup attaches that emotion of what we experienced to it, and it never forgets it. It does not forget it. You can go and have that same experience 25 years later, and you will immediately be triggered with that same fear, and you will immediately attach that same memory to what you're experiencing now. We have to make a conscious choice to not allow our ego to do that. This is like the big test of how you heal wounds, is you have to recognize them and look at whatever happened in the past, you know, was a shit show, okay? Whatever happened, it was a lesson for you to get to where you are today. It was an opportunity for you to go through that pain and suffering so that when you come out of it, you have nothing to do but to search for the light, to search to try to understand what it is. And we are kept in a state of fear, worry, and anxiety until we address that, okay? It holds in our bodies, it holds in our energetic system if we don't look at it. So, for instance, what happens if you don't address emotional or spiritual wounding that you got as a child or a teenager? Well, it sits in your chakra system. It goes on to having you make choices based on that wounding, not based on being a healthy person. So maybe that's a marriage you chose. Maybe that's a relationship that you had. Maybe that's an addiction path that you went down. The universe keeps setting up the circumstances of us repeating that emotional state until we become the creator, until we say, oh, that was the lesson. I'm supposed to be the observer of what just took place. I'm supposed to be observing the past. I'm not supposed to be holding it inside of me. I'm supposed to be learning from it, thanking it, giving gratitude to the experience for the lesson, and then releasing it and forgiving others, releasing by forgiving yourself, because now you know you're a spiritual energetic being and you came here to go. I just saw 1111. You came here to have that experience. So if you've had like a breakup or loss of a relationship, as natural human responses to loss, this is what our body is going to be programmed to do. So we have to change that program. The body, especially when it senses that this loss is irreversible, like the relationship is gone and dead, this person isn't coming back, or somebody you love passes away. You look at this as it's completely unreversible and that life will never quite be the same again. And you connect that experience to that emotion of fear, all right? And then the universe is reminding us to look at the closing of a door, to look at the end of a relationship, the end of a career, the failure of a friendship, the ending of an idea, the ending of a journey, whatever it is that's closing in your life right now. And I know a lot of people are going through a shit show right now. The lower, denser energies are being cleared out. We're getting bombarded with the sun. We've been in geostorms for 2 weeks now. So as this high energy light comes in from source, it's clearing out the dense lower energies of the planet and us. They're all one and the same. This process is giving us an invitation to have a new beginning. So if your life is a shit show right now, this is why it probably is. If you haven't seen Morning Java for the Soul, Is Your Life Going to Shit? Hop on over there. Because in that, I'm talking about how my life blew up, like tower moment after tower moment of just dumpster fire crap for a couple years, leading me to the point where I just made some radical changes. So the universe reminds us, be patient and kind with ourselves. Be patient and kind to others. Be confident and know that your new life is happening now for you. Those lessons didn't happen against you. They happened for you, according to your higher purpose and the loving plan that you sat down and made with Source before you incarnated here. You chose what you wanted to go through. So if you're refusing to change, you're putting like this full stop on your life's mission. Your life is meant to change right now. Doors are meant to be shut, and for a reason. Don't fight the change. Embrace the change. Be encouraged. Be patient with yourself. From the ashes of this symbolic death that we're going through, all this radical transformation that we're having in our bodies, in our souls, in our lives, in our families, in our communities, in our careers, in our countries, in our world, all this change that we are experiencing right now is a symbolic death of the out with the old and in with the new. It's the closing of a chapter of society where, as a spiritual, energetic being, we have been enslaved by the concept of fear. It has been used against us in every way, shape, or form, in the media, with death, with sickness, with tragedy, with climate change, with weather. Everything on that TV is directed towards putting you in a state of fear. It's nothing but. If you can find one or two positive things flipping through the channel, I'll absolutely fall over. So the universe is asking us, if you want to make your life a whole lot easier right about now, and you want to go through this ascension process quickly, find a good source, find a good bunch of YouTubers that are going to walk you through this path. When I started my journey, I found people like Victor Otto, I found Robert Ohado, I found Aaron Doherty, I found Aaron Abke, I found Attract Your Passion. All these individuals played a very big role in setting up the steps that led to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. And if you're here today and this has intrigued your interest and you know you're going through something, subscribe to my channel and stick with me on this content. Because after going through all this work, the universe has allowed me to be able to break this down in easier ways to understand. And that is my life's mission. My life's mission is to teach. It's been a nurse, to help heal the sick. I'm a psychology major in counseling and teaching, and everything in my life, everything I've been through, all the pain, all the suffering, all the challenges, all the trials has led me to exactly where I'm supposed to be, and that is fulfilling my life's purpose as as a spiritual energetic being. It is a process, but I want you to know that we are here for you, and anything you're going through, we support you. We're sending you love and light. And if this message resonated with you, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers so I can start going live. I appreciate your energetic exchange if you could help me out with that. And we will see you guys at your next reading. Just remember to stay focused on the light. Turn off that TV. Turn off that fear-based control that is trying to keep you from your true purpose. And I'll see you at your next reading. Peace and love.